Professeur distinguished, s'il vous plaît.
And very quickly look at the magnitude of youth unemployment in some selected sub-Saharan African countries and the causes. The idea will be to really look at the political economic underpinnings of the chronic problem of youth unemployment across the continent. And then I'll quickly look at the consequences of youth unemployment. And then look at the strategies for dealing with youth unemployment. And then conclude with some few reflections in terms of where do we go from here. The critical question, I think, this presentation youth. And basically, the challenge is that if we look at the statistics, the unemployment levels of youth are 3 times higher than any other, compared to any other age cohort across the African continent. But then, having said this, the paradox is that as a continent, we have not just been sitting back. We have been taking initiatives to try to deal with the question of youth unemployment. And the question then becomes, why does it persist? Because if you look back in history, you discover that the International Labour Organization has been trying to address the question of youth unemployment on the continent since 1955. The years 1985 and 2012 were declared as international years of the youth. On the continent, we have enacted the African Youth Charter, and the whole idea of the African Youth Charter is to improve the welfare of young people on the continent. But again, if you scan through the policy portfolio of most sub-Saharan African countries, you discover that there has been a proliferation of youth policies. In addition, youth ministries have been created. And more recently, the decade between 2009 and 2019 has been designated as the decade for the youth. But more importantly, the Millennium Development Goals, one of its targets states that the global community must develop and implement strategies for decent and productive employment for the youth. I think as we speak, we are 2 years away from reaching the MGD deadline, but as we speak, the problem of chronic youth unemployment in the continent is huge. And basically, if you look at the prognosis, it's not encouraging. Actually, it is bleak almost in all realms. The future of the youth does not look promising. So the question that we should be grappling with is, why is it that sub-Saharan African countries are not investing in the youth, despite the youth being the biggest constituency across the continent? And of course, we have to take into account that there are potential benefits from the apparent huge demographic structure dominated by the youth. So it is against this background that I'm arguing that probably it's time that we need to wear new razors in terms of looking at this question of youth unemployment. And our argument is that political economy analysis will probably add value in terms of trying to deal with this question. So briefly, what is the political economy? Political economy considers how political institutions, the political environment, and the economic environment influence each other. And more importantly, it helps us understand what drives political behavior. I think we have to look at the interests and the incentives of our politicians or our political actors, and how this shapes particular policies and programs. And then we must look at who are the winners and the losers, and what implications will these have for our development strategies and programs. So basically, the political economy contributes to better understanding of policy processes by identifying where the main opportunities and barriers for change exist, and how these opportunities can be exploited and barriers overcome. In particular, it provides in-depth knowledge of the different factors that determine incentives for policy choices and institutional change. I think we must be asking, why is it that this problem continues even though there is a recognition across the continent that something must be done? It means we must understand the underlying incentives and the interests of our policy makers. The logic is simple. The way in which you define a problem will determine how you are going to search for solutions, how you are going to make sure that those solutions are implemented to the letter, how you are going to make sure you assess the implementation process with the idea of learning in terms of going forward. And what I would like really to emphasize is that we should understand that there is not technical solution to a problem without a political solution. And the resolution of political problems will always require technical support and implementation. So no matter how technical problem might be, it will always have political connotations, and that is important to understand. So the message of our presentation is that let us get out of our comfort zones and confront the difficult political questions about youth unemployment. At the moment, I think we are shying away from asking difficult political economy questions about the problem of youth unemployment across the continent. Now, how do we begin to understand the political economy of youth unemployment across the continent? I think the point of departure is to undertake a critical review of the policies that have been implemented across the continents, particularly the youth policies, because these policies express ideas that governments have about dealing with the youth challenge. But the views that have been taken have not been encouraging because of a number of reasons. If you look at these policies, you discover that policy framings are predominantly portray youth as a problem that needs to be addressed by policy, as a problem to be addressed by policy. Then youth are looked at as passive clients or constrained decision makers with limited ability to shape their destinies, which is not necessarily the case. Then youth are presented as a homogeneous group. I think it is important to note that youth are not a homogeneous group. There are differentiations across the category of what we call youth. There are different terms of age, areas of residency, levels of education, etc., etc. Sometimes we tend to lump youth with the other vulnerable groups. They tend to come across as issues to be dealt in what is commonly now referred to as cross-cutting themes. Now, the reviews that we did demonstrate that across the sub-Saharan African continent, you can identify up to at least 6 different forms of how the question of youth is dealt with in policies. Firstly, youth are framed as the future of the nation. Secondly, youth as the unemployed and the underemployed. Youth as the marginalized and vulnerable. Youth as deviants. Youth as a population problem. Youth as the future farmers. If you look at these 6 different forms, you discover that these are framed in a negative light. Only probably 2 of them. Youth as the future of the nation, youth as the future farmers. But then, even if we critically look at these forms, we discover that the youth are projected as passive actors, as actors that will participate in a predetermined development agenda. So basically, you discover that most provisions of youth policies seem to originate in adults' perceptions of youth concerns and needs. And generally, youth policies portray youth as deficient, poorest victims failing to exercise sufficient responsibility and therefore in need of protection by a paternalistic state. And therefore, it's not surprising that if you continue with the auditing youth policies across sub-Saharan Africa, you discover that these policies frame the question of youth unemployment not as an economic question, but rather as a social problem. And that has implications in terms of how we go about searching for relevant solutions. And this is really inspired by the stereotypical notions of disaffected youth. We immediately look at youth as problems to be dealt with, and not as partners with whom we can work together in order to develop a better future. So basically, if you look at the ministries of youth that have been created across the continent, you discover that they are hugely marginalized. They are politically weak. They are often under-resourced. And basically, by establishing these youth ministries, what we are basically doing is to take out youth issues out of the mainstream concerns of society. And that's where the problem lies. So basically, what this means is that if you look at the policies, the way the policies are formed, they are trying to advance interests of other people. And these interests are usually the older generation, the policymakers who are already in privileged positions. So basically what the policymakers and the politicians are doing is kind of to create barriers so that the youth cannot get into the ranks of better livelihood. So basically, as I was saying, even if you look at the positive forms of youth in policies, if youth are looked at as the future of the nation, basically they are seen as a critical source of development in which the adult world invests to derive some benefits in the future, not as a process to be driven by the youth themselves. If you look at the framing that youth are future farmers, basically this is a reaction to the fact that as a continent we are experiencing substantial decline in agriculture. And how do we get our agriculture back moving? Send the youth back to the rural areas. So, overall, what this analysis suggests is that youth policies seem to be motivated by moral panic from fears arising from the potential power that youth can mobilize, rather than the genuine concerns to address the challenges that youth are grappling with in their day-to-day lives. I think if something is being done about the youth, it's because people feel that probably what happened in Tunisia and Egypt is going to happen in our countries. And not necessarily that we are really committed to addressing the problems that the youth do face. And again, the issue of the political economy of youth unemployment is further complicated by the challenges that we have in defining a youth. Who is a youth? I don't know if you do this kind of literature, you see that there are differences in how youth is defined, or how youth are defined. Basically, there is the UN definition which defines youth as those falling between 15 and 25. But there are all sorts of variations. Even within countries, there are variations. And that has implications in terms of planning and programming for youth interventions. So, you can see that most of the definitions of the youth are based on age. But this is not completely accurate, because in some contexts, cultural considerations become important. In some cases, a young girl, 12, but married, would be considered as an adult, whereas a man aged 30 or 35 but unmarried would be considered as youth. And that means that if we predominantly define youth on the basis of age, that has what we are describing as a homogenizing effect. And what, as I've already pointed out, youth is a hugely differentiated category. So failure to do that has resulted in African countries coming up with youth policies that are based on the normative aspirations of the youth, and not necessarily on the real problems or challenges that the youth face. And I think our analysis has demonstrated that if we look at these policies, they are characterized by a lack of analysis that is theoretically and historically informed, conceptually sound, and context specific. So the point really is that going forward, if we have to make a dent on this particular question,